Views expressed by Hoot and Holler storytellers do not reflect those of Blue Ridge PBS and may contain themes and language not suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Blue Ridge PBS and Echo present Hoot and Holler, a live storytelling event recorded at the historic Grandin Theater in Roanoke, Virginia.
The Omni Shoreham Hotel, nestled in the heart of Washington, D.C., is not just another luxury hotel. It is a living piece of history. Since its doors first opened in 1930, the hotel has played guests to some of the most famous names and significant events in the world. Judy Garland once graced its halls with her presence, her laugh echoing through the corridors. The Beatles, during their first trip to the United States, sought refuge from their screaming fans. Peggy Lee, with her sultry voice, might have hummed a tune or two as she stayed there preparing for another unforgettable performance. The hotel has also been a favorite venue for U.S. presidents, with its grand ballrooms serving as the backdrop for multiple inaugural balls. The glistening chandeliers have cast their light on countless dignitaries and celebrities, each adding another layer of prestige to the hotel's storied past. Yet for all its splendor, there's something about the hotel that feels older, as if its very walls have absorbed the secrets and stories of those who came before. It's a place where time seems to stand still, where the past lingers just out of sight in the shadows. I had absolutely no idea about the hotel's history when I checked in this August. I was there for a work conference, just another guest among many, staying in room 847, conveniently located next to the housekeeping closet. The week was filled with long days of meetings, networking, and the usual corporate hustle, but at night, something strange began to happen. It started around 4 a.m. on the first night. I was jolted awake by a series of loud bumps and thumps that seemed to be coming from the walls. My first thought was that housekeeping must be getting an early start, perhaps moving carts or restocking supplies, but the noise was persistent, almost rhythmic, and far too loud to just be routine work. Then there was the sound of a child, faint but unmistakable, giggling in the hallway. I dismissed it, assuming that there was a family staying nearby with a toddler who was struggling to sleep, although I never saw anyone with a child during my stay on the 8th floor. As the days passed, my experience at the hotel became more and more bizarre. Each night, I would go downstairs to meet colleagues for drinks or attend late-night events, and each time when I returned to what I thought was my room, I found myself standing outside of room 870, my key card in hand, trying to open a door that wasn't mine. It was as if something was guiding me there, pulling me toward that room. Each time, I'd shake my head, blame it on ADHD, assume I just wasn't paying enough attention, and I would laugh it off and make my way back to room 847. But deep down, I felt almost as if room 870 was summoning me. It was only on my final day, as I was heading back downstairs to check out, that the strange occurrences I'd been experiencing began to make more sense, and also no sense at all. I stepped into the elevator on the 8th floor to make my way back to the lobby and check out when the door opened on the 6th floor. I was joined by another hotel guest who was on his way down. He was tall, with a weathered face and eyes that seemed to have seen more than their fair share of strange things. He looked at me and asked, "Did you see any ghosts?" I was taken aback, not sure if he was joking or if he knew something that I didn't. "What, is the elevator haunted?" I asked, half laughing. He avoided the question and just smirked. Then he responded in a flat tone, "They say there are ghosts on the 8th floor." I exited into the lobby and only later realized that the man who had joined me in the elevator on the 6th floor had, for whatever reason, stayed behind. Now curious about what I had just learned, I whipped out my phone and Googled the hotel. That's when I stumbled onto the Omni Shoreham's haunted history, particularly the chilling tale of room 870. The story of room 870 dates back to the early days of the hotel when it wasn't just a room, but an entire apartment. One of the hotel's original owners, Henry Doherty, lived in this apartment with his wife, daughter, and their housekeeper, Juliet Brown. The suite was meant to be a sanctuary, a place of comfort amidst the bustling city, but that comfort was short-lived. The story goes, one night around 4 a.m., the same time I began hearing strange noises, the housekeeper was found dead in the apartment under mysterious circumstances. Some say she was discovered by family lying motionless on the floor, her eyes wide open in terror. It wasn't long after that, Doherty's young daughter also passed away in that very apartment, though the details surrounding her death are vague and shrouded in mystery. Some accounts suggest that she succumbed to a sudden illness, while others whisper of something far more sinister, as if the room itself had claimed her life. In 1973, after 4 decades of residence, the remaining family moved out, and the suite remained empty and closed off from the rest of the hotel for the next few years. However, despite the room remaining vacant, hotel staff continued to receive complaints of cold drafts and loud noises coming from room 870 for the next few decades. In 1997, the former apartment was converted into a presidential hotel suite, but even then, tragedy seemed to linger. During those renovations, a worker allegedly fell from the 8th floor balcony to his death, further cementing the room's reputation as cursed. Since then, the strange occurrences in room 870 have continued to be reported: lights flickering on and off, inexplicable cold spots, the persistent feeling of being watched. Because of these chilling events, the hotel now keeps room 870 vacant most of the time. It's only booked when the hotel is completely full and there's no other option, or when a particularly brave soul makes a special request to stay there. But even then, the staff is wary, many of them refusing to even go near the room unless it's absolutely necessary. There have also been reports about the elevators, with guests claiming to have seen and interacted with spirits who seemed all too real. Some have reported encounters with figures that seem to vanish as soon as the elevator doors open, leaving only a lingering chill behind. Others report having heard whispered conversations from invisible sources. As I read about this, I couldn't help but think about the strange man who had joined me on the elevator on the 6th floor, casually asking if I'd seen any ghosts during my stay. Why hadn't he left the elevator? How did he know I had been on the 8th floor? Why didn't he respond when I asked him if the elevators were haunted? Did he know something that I didn't? My encounter with that man became that much more unsettling when I discovered a recent suicide that had taken place in room 667, the same floor where he had joined me, and told me all about the hotel's haunted past. I mentioned these strange encounters to the hotel staff as I checked out. The receptionist's face turned pale. "Oh, yes," she said, her voice dropping to a whisper. "Many of the staff refused to work on that floor. I once attempted to clean it, and the door slammed shut in my face. The ghost didn't want me there." As I left the hotel, I couldn't help but feel like I had come all too close to something otherworldly. So if you ever find yourself staying at the Omni Shoreham Hotel and you hear a bump in the night, or find yourself inexplicably drawn to room 870, remember this story, and whatever you do, don't go looking for ghosts, because chances are they'll find you first.